produced in high definition by Fox 50. Viewer discretion is advised. They stepped out and never came home. Tonight, the search for Kent, Kyle, and Allison, NC Wanted in high definition, starts now.
Good evening. Welcome to NC Wanted. I'm Gerald Owens. Each day, law enforcement agencies across the country field more than 2,000 missing persons reports for both children and adults. In some cases, they're found within hours, while others seem to just disappear, leaving law enforcement perplexed and loved ones without resolution. Tonight, we'll focus on some of these cases where the victim simply vanishes without a trace. Kyle Fleischman's name is recognized across the country, but not because of his energetic personality or growing career in business. Since his disappearance on November 9th of 2007, his missing poster has been accessed by millions on the internet and broadcast on national TV. But despite tireless efforts to keep his case in the public eye, the trail has gone cold. Tonight, police hope you have the lead that will bring Kyle home.
There's something bad has happened. He's not just missing and sitting somewhere drinking Mai Tais.
I have no reason to believe that he's, where he wants to be, doing what he wants to do. I believe it's very possible something bad's happened to him.
Kyle Fleischman is having the night of his life. It's November 9th, 2007. He recently graduated from Elon University and works in business. But tonight, he's living it up in uptown Charlotte. Dane Cook is doing stand-up at the Bobcats Arena. And after the show, Kyle, his family, and friends go to the Buckhead Saloon. They enjoy drinks for a while. When others leave, Kyle stays behind to talk to some lady friends. Around 2 a.m., he walks out the door and disappears.
They started searching for him right away. They did searches every day, different areas with dogs, and finally, almost over a week later, we got some help with the fire department.
That's one of the things that is troubling about his disappearance is that Kyle had a lot of things going on in his life, as far as his work, his good employment record, his friends, and his family. So those are all troubling things.
The little evidence detectives have suggests something terrible. Kyle left his bank card at the bar, and although he had his cell phone with him, he made his last call sometime after 3 a.m. In the months since his disappearance, his case has been featured on America's Most Wanted and has set new standards for ways that families and friends of missing people can reach an instant worldwide audience on the internet.
I feel like every single person feels like that he'd be standing there working twice as hard as we're working to do the exact same thing we're doing for him. So I feel obligated for what he gave us when he was around us to do what we are now.
Also in the time since Kyle has been missing, a mother has undergone treatment for cancer without her son. Thanksgiving and Christmas have come and gone with no sign of him. But those close to Kyle still desperately want answers they fear may never come.
It's probably not the best outcome, but we still know we need to bring him home for his family and for his friends. We want closure. We want to know what happened to him. We don't want him to just be out there.
There's a $25,000 reward in this case. When Kyle was last seen, he was wearing a black shirt, jeans, and black dress shoes. Along with his ATM card, Kyle left a black pea coat at the Buckhead Saloon. He's 24 years old, has green eyes and brown hair. He's 6 feet tall and weighs 180 pounds. If you have any information about the disappearance of Kyle Fleischman, call call our tip line right now at 1-866-43-WANTED or go to ncwanted.com and click Report a Tip. You can remain anonymous. Now we head to the eastern part of the state and the disappearance of Allison Jackson Foy. On July 30th, 2006, Allison walked out of a Wilmington bar and hasn't been heard from since. During their search, investigators have had a tough time separating fact from fiction. The word on the street was that she left on her own and doesn't want to be found. But Allison's family insists she would never leave her two daughters behind. After nearly 2 years, those closest to Allison have little hope she will return home safely.
I think that somebody did something to her that night. In my heart, I do not believe that my sister is still living anymore.
We know that she was in a bar down toward the Carolina Beach area in New Hanover County. Approximately 2 o'clock in the morning, we have information that she got into a taxi cab, and since then we've had no trace of her.
I have hope, and that's what keeps me going, but I don't think she's here.
July 30th, 2006. Allison Jackson Foy sits at a bar in Wilmington with a friend. It's about 2 o'clock in the morning, and her friend has the bartender call her a taxi. Then she disappears.
Allison said goodbye to her friend and walked out with the cab driver, and that was the last that anybody has seen of her since.
Bar patrons reported seeing Allison sitting outside the bar crying, but that has never been confirmed. Allison's rental car was found in the parking lot.
We've checked with the cab companies, and I couldn't find anything where a cab was even dispatched down there. So, that was the story that we got, but nobody can actually confirm it. I don't know exactly how she left from that bar, because no one was standing there and no one actually watched her leave.
Life has been full of struggles for this 27-year-old mother of two. She's on her third marriage, just lost custody of her 12-year-old daughter, and has money problems. That's led to strife in her marriage and brushes with the law, most recently in the form of 2 outstanding warrants for check fraud. But from another vantage point, things are looking up. She has a 4-year-old daughter, Jordan, and just started work as an assistant manager at a hotel.
Full of life, that's the best way I can describe her. When I think about her now, I can see her smile, I can hear her laughter. She was a person who genuinely loved life, loved to have a good time, and loved her children.
She was a mother of 2 little girls. She was married. We have information, although we have not confirmed anything, but we do have information that she had a recurring drug problem that had started back up again. We know that she was having some money problems.
I knew she was struggling. What she said to me is, this is the time for me to turn around my life and take care of what I need to take care of. And when she called me, she's like, I got this job, it's a great job, I'm so excited, I'm so happy. The stories that I've heard have been that she had a severe drug problem. I saw no signs of anything.
It was described as a recent recurring of a cocaine problem that she'd had in the past. And, you can assume that that's where all the money was going.
Speculation about Allison's behavior leads to sharp disagreement between her family and her husband about what happened that night. Lisa Valentino is certain something terrible happened to her sister. Michael Foy thinks his wife walked away.
I didn't know she was sleeping with people behind my back. I didn't know she was stealing everybody's money. I didn't know she was, I didn't know she was taking all these different drugs and everything. I really, to be honest with you, I don't want to see her again, to be honest with you. She's done nothing but rip my life apart, turn it into a living hell.
During a marriage, you had a child with this woman, regardless good or bad or what happened in that marriage, your wife is missing. I would think he would have a responsibility to his daughter to find out what happened to her mother. And from the beginning, he has done absolutely nothing to help find her. I'm not saying her husband had anything to do with it. I'm not. But I'm saying, take a lie detector test.
I was advised against it by lawyers. I was advised against it by friends of mine that are in the police department. And, there's no reason for me to do it. And if they think I did something, if they have evidence, then they can charge me with it. But I didn't do anything. I'm not the one that was stealing money. Every time, I was working my butt off, try to make a family work. But I did what I had, what I'm supposed to do. I'm the one here taking care of my kid. You know what I mean?
Police, too, wondered if Allison just up and walked away from her life. And various sightings after she disappeared did nothing to dispel that theory.
Back last August, I met with a gentleman who had been staying at Carolina Beach, which is about 15 miles from here. He had told me that he had met Allison that weekend down at Carolina Beach, and then this was after she had gone missing. His information was they had actually spent the night together in a motel, and then he'd seen her the next morning walking in the Carolina Beach area. We went to all the businesses down there showing flyers. And one of the ladies who owns a business down there said, I saw her riding a bike here a couple of days ago. But that was the last we heard of it.
When she had a serious problem, she would pick up the phone and she would call my dad, or she would call me and she would say, I'm in trouble, I need help. If she was going anywhere, she would have taken her kids with her. There is no way she would pick up and leave her kids and all of her belongings and just disappear without a phone call, without anything. No way. It's just not her.
Months have passed without any sign of Allison. Her family has passed out flyers, started a website dedicated to her, and walked the streets looking for anyone who may know what happened. But hope has faded, both for her family and police, that Allison will ever be found alive.
I think in the beginning she just simply walked away for whatever personal reason she had for doing that.
We have no resolution. We don't know where she is and what happened. And not only for myself, but for her daughters.
I don't have any evidence at all to indicate any foul play. Do I think she's still alive after over a year, getting close to a year and a half? I don't know.
I would love to be able to tell them, this is what happened to your mom. She didn't just get up and leave you.
I would hope that she is still out there somewhere, and for whatever reason she hasn't contacted her family. But, after a year and a half, that hope is getting a little faded.
People can say what they want. I'm her sister. I know her better than almost anybody. And, it just didn't happen. There's no way she'd pick up and leave her two kids who were everything to her and just walk away.
Though he hasn't agreed to take a polygraph, police say Allison's husband, Michael, has been cooperative during the investigation. No evidence of blood spatter was found in their home or Michael's truck. The night she disappeared, Allison was wearing a red top, a black skirt, and sandals. At the time, she was described as having blonde hair and green eyes. She's 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighs about 130 pounds. There's a $10,000 reward for information that helps solve this case. If you know anything about the disappearance of Allison Jackson Foy, call our toll-free hotline right now at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to ncwanted.com and click Report a Tip.
Coming up, the physical age of a man, but the mental age of a child. One day he took a walk and never returned. The search for Kent Jacobs of Cumberland County. More NC Wanted is straight ahead.
Like a victim in a homicide or assault, a missing person is also considered a victim. But some missing people are more likely to become victims than others. Kent Jacobs of Hope Mills is in that high-risk category. He suffers from a mental disability, and though he's nearly 50 years old, he has the mental capacity of an 8-year-old. Family and friends say he probably wouldn't recognize a dangerous situation or realize his own safety was in jeopardy. It's Sunday, March 10th, 2002. Kent Jacobs is home for the weekend, enjoying time with his mother who lives in Hope Mills. During the week, Kent stays in a group home in Fayetteville. Just like any other Sunday, Mrs. Jacobs is getting ready for church. Kent peeks around the corner at his mother before leaving the house. This is the last time she would see her oldest son. It's a Sunday ritual. Kent visits friends while his mother is at church. It's a route he knows well. He walks along the highway to his old neighborhood, Colonial Heights, just 2 miles down Interstate 95. For several hours, Jacobs and a friend watch TV. When Kent leaves his friend's house, his trail goes cold.
We can put him at certain people's homes, we can put him interacting with certain people, and then we just have him disappearing.
According to his family, Kent always makes his curfew, coming home between 5 and 6 p.m. When he doesn't show up, his mother knows something is wrong and contacts law enforcement. Ground and aerial searches reveal nothing about Kent's whereabouts. Kent was last seen wearing a Harley-Davidson sweatshirt like the one in this picture, a black t-shirt, blue jeans, and Reebok sneakers. He was carrying about $200 in cash that day. His family believes he may have been excited about the money, unknowingly attracting attention.
There were certain people there that Kent saw on a regular basis that was part of his social circle. There was a few folks in there that were fine. And there was a few folks in there that would be questionable.
The 6-year anniversary of Kent Jacobs' disappearance has come and gone. And the number of rumors and false reports has frustrated law enforcement. Years pass with no significant leads. Then in February, the sheriff's office received information that pumped life into the investigation.
A person came forward and had claimed that they witnessed certain events that would involve Kent's demise. The case had got to a point where there'd been so many rumors and so many things followed up on that the only thing you're waiting for now is to talk to somebody who says, I was there and I saw.
Before law enforcement could corroborate the story, the source went to the media. Suddenly, news of Kent Jacobs' alleged murder was public.
If you've got a person who's kept silent for all these years for fear of being hurt, if you've been afraid for 7 years for your life and you come forward, why are you going on TV? The leads were followed up on, and it basically turned out not to be true.
The false information sent the Jacobs family on an emotional roller coaster, a ride they are all too familiar with.
Through the years, we've heard every imaginable gruesome horror story that you can think of as to what happened to my brother.
Because of the time that has passed, investigators and family agree it's unlikely Kent will be found unharmed.
Kent is somebody who would have went home eventually or found a way to have gotten home. I wouldn't be optimistic to say that I think he's still alive.
We're going to be here the day they bring the people in who are responsible for my brother's disappearance and ultimate death. We're not going anywhere.
Kent's missing poster is on a billboard just across from the Colonial Heights neighborhood where he was last seen. The family continues to hold events to keep his case in the public eye. When he was working at the group home in Fayetteville, Kent's family says he was able to communicate his feelings, but couldn't handle what we would consider a normal life without assistance. The Cumberland County Sheriff's Office still considers Kent Jacobs a missing person. Kent is 5 feet 6 inches tall, weighing about 150 pounds. He has brown eyes and black hair. There's a small cross tattooed on his upper left arm. If you have any information about Kent Jacobs, call us toll-free at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to ncwanted.com and click Report a Tip. You can remain anonymous. Stay with us. We'll be right back to recap tonight's cases. Time now to recap tonight's cases. First, he's the recent college graduate who was last seen on November 9th in uptown Charlotte. Kyle Fleischman walked out of the Buckhead Saloon just after 2 a.m., leaving behind his coat and ATM card. His last phone calls were made after 3 a.m. Kyle was last seen wearing a black shirt, jeans, and black dress shoes. He has brown hair and green eyes. He's 6 feet tall, weighs about 180 pounds. There's a $25,000 reward for information about Kyle's disappearance. Next, on July 30th, 2006, Allison Jackson Foy disappeared after leaving the Junction Pub and Billiards in Wilmington. During their investigation, police found evidence that Allison was having money problems because of an alleged drug habit. Now, this mother of two had started a new job and was taking control of her life. Investigators have heard reports that she just left on her own, but her family's convinced Allison was the victim of foul play. There's a $10,000 reward in this case. The night she disappeared, Allison was wearing a red top, black skirt, and sandals. At the time, she had blonde hair and green eyes. She's 5 feet 8 inches tall and weighs about 130 pounds. And finally, he was last seen March 10th of 2002 in the Colonial Heights neighborhood of Hope Mills. Kent Jacobs is nearly 50, but has the mental capacity of an 8-year-old. His family and local law enforcement believe he's been the victim of foul play. He's 5'6", weighs about 150 pounds. He has brown eyes and black hair. There's a small cross tattooed on his upper left arm. There's also a reward for information in this case. If you know anything about tonight's cases, call us toll-free at 1-866-43-WANTED or log on to ncwanted.com and click Report a Tip. As always, you can remain anonymous. Remember, together we can fight to protect the quality of life we hold dear in North Carolina. I'm Gerald Owens. Good night.